What is up everyone, it's Gentry, and in this video I'm going to reveal a new signature yo-yo, my newest made in the USA yo-yo, the American. The release date for the American is not yet confirmed. We'll get to an unboxing here in just a minute, but before that, let's first start with a breakdown of how this yo-yo came about by throwing it back to my early days with Yoyo Factory. I first joined Yoyo Factory in 2010. I was on the come up rocking the Yoyo Factory Genesis with a 4th place finish at my first US national contest. At this point, I had proven to the yo-yo scene that I was worthy of a signature yo-yo, and little did I know, Yoyo Factory was secretly working on a special project while I continued hustling and training for contests. Fast forward to the next year's BAC in 2011, where Yoyo Factory showed me this brand new unnamed yo-yo that they were working on. We filmed a promo video with it with the legendary Augie Fash and Paul Hahn. I ended up taking a win at that year's Bay Area Classic, and that night Yoyo Factory texted me offering that new yo-yo to me as my signature yo-yo, calling it the Super G. I went on to compete for a 2nd and 3rd place finish at the National Yo-Yo Contest, as well as a 3rd place finish at my first ever World Yo-Yo Contest with the Super G. This whole time period was a huge icebreaker for me into the yo-yo scene, and I have some of my best memories and accomplishments during this time, but I still hadn't won a national or world title yet. So the next step for Yoyo Factory and I was to move on from the Super G and come up with something completely new, which is where the shutter came into play. Now here's where the new signature yo-yo comes into play. 2020 is coming to an end, and Yoyo Factory and I were thinking, what might have been the bridge between the Super G and the shutter? After such a great run with the Super G, we kind of just left it behind by completely dropping the shape and creating something completely new with the shutter. So what was the missing link here? Well, let's open this box right here and answer just that. This is what you guys have been waiting for. Let's rip this open. Check out what we have inside. All right, and here we go. Here it is, the first look at my new signature yo-yo, the American. So here's the first color. As you can see, it's got the American flag theme with the classic kind of retro diner inspired American logo right here. And then we have a couple of other colors, the black with gray acid wash, super sick looking color. And then finally the purple and silver acid wash. Let's put this box here away and take a closer look at the shape of the yo-yo. Now, if we pull all 3 of them here, you'll notice that as we start to look at the shape, it might look a little bit familiar. Now, if we look at the Super G here, you can see it has these really heavy, straight edge, thick rims with the big step, and comparing that to the American, it has that similar big step, but with a lot of shutter influence. So if we pull the shutter over next to it, you can see how it has those different design cues from each yo-yo. But the cool thing about the American is it definitely plays like something of its own. We'll do a quick play test and go over that in a minute, but really the goal for this yo-yo was to create the bridge, the missing link between these 2 signature yo-yos of mine, going back to the original manufacturer that had created the Super G in the USA. So if you guys want to support the cause for a made in the USA yo-yo, I know you will love the American. One thing to note here with the Super G is with these big stepped rims, it kind of tends to hit the finger in an uncomfortable position. So you can see right here, hits the finger right on the knuckle. And I remember practicing with this yo-yo. It had amazing performance. It spins forever. It's very stable. But I just remember while practicing, I would kind of hurt my finger a little bit when the yo-yo continued to just hit the knuckle over and over again in those long practice sessions. So it's definitely not the most comfortable yo-yo in the hand. So when we eventually designed the shutter, that was one of the big goals, was to make a yo-yo that would fit comfortably in everyone's hand, but then keep up with that high level of performance, stability, and spin time and all of that. So with the American, we wanted to try to go back to some of the roots of the Super G by having this big step, because it really helps create an awesome level of stability and just a cool look that's something unique. But what we ended up doing was rounding out this area just in the same way that the shutter is rounded out a little bit, but we were able to transform that huge stepped rim into something in the Super G that was uncomfortable into something that is super comfortable with the American. So it fits literally perfect in the hand with a really awesome H shape. I know you guys are wondering what the specs are. For the weight of the American, it comes in at 2.317 ounces or 0.0022 pounds, with a diameter of 2.22 inches, a width of 1.73 inches, a gap of 0.17 inches, with a center track bearing and a 0.39 inch axle. With that being said, let's jump right into the play test. The first thing you'll notice about the American when you go to play it is, one, it's extremely comfortable in the hand. It fits perfectly in the hand and your finger will fit perfectly right between those two rounded rims. The second thing is that the Yo-Yo grinds like crazy. Because there's such little friction in there, you're really just grinding on the small inner part. So you can see, even with a grind that long, it still has plenty of spin to go back to the hand. And what I'm talking about there is you'll be grinding on just these little inside parts, and you really don't have to worry about too much of the other parts of the yo-yo rubbing up against your finger. That's gonna allow you to have some of these crazy long grinds. With a ton of spin, we can do another one. Woo! And the third thing is the yo-yo has a very unique feeling. Although it has these big kind of beefy rims like the Super G, it definitely has quite a bit of float to it. So as you're going through your tricks, you're gonna feel more of that floatiness, even with that extra stability that's caused by those big rims. And if we look at the inner design here, you can see that curved rim is gonna guide your finger right to where it should be for some pretty easy finger spins. So you can see the yo-yo definitely handles those really well. If I can get it to come back up. It definitely gives you that fun playing experience, just a really fun yo-yo, but while still having the performance capabilities that you'll want. Run through some of my old school tricks here. Definitely happy with how this yo-yo turned out, and I know you guys will love it. To wrap this video up, I want to ask you guys what you think my next Made in America yo-yo should look like. So drop a comment down below, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys soon.